Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year. This is video 248. Hope you're doing well today or tonight. Hope you're doing awesome. Just got done doing Taibo again. Night number 5. I skipped Sunday, but I've done 5 hours now in the last 6 days. So man, something about it just empowers me. I don't know what it is. I just love kicking and punching. It's awesome. So I fully recommend, highly recommend, you guys search for vintage Taibo workouts, and they'll come up from, well, I think there's some from a few years ago too, but I really like the ones from like the late 90s, early 2000s. They're pretty fun. So anyway, they're just fun. They empower you, I feel. And if you are so inclined, give one a shot and see how you feel when you're done. And Billy Blanks, who is the guy that leads them, he's so encouraging. And so I just love it. I don't know. I'm into it right now. So anyway, today or tonight, I wanted to talk about letting go of our old stories and how difficult that is for us to do. I don't know why that's so difficult. And I look at it like it's just a bunch of lies. And I heard someone say that over half of our memories are actually false. And so I won't get into the quantum physics of this really in this video. I'm going to try to keep this just pretty simple. That what if you could just let go of your entire story of who you think you are? And you could just start fresh right now in this moment. And you say, I'm brand new right now. And I'm just going to start a new, like in my sessions today, we talked about setting new standards for ourselves, like higher standards. And to be able to provide a high standard of care for ourselves, which enables us to help care for others with a higher standard. And so I love talking about self-concept and self-respect and just working from the inside out, because we've got to decide that we're worthy of setting higher standards for ourselves. And I think a lot of times we don't do that because we either don't feel like we deserve more, or we don't have self-respect, or we don't feel worthy of better for ourselves. And so a lot of that comes from, and we've got to remember, a lot of that comes from that past programming. Yet again, all the lies that were kind of, whether they were placed in us from somebody else and they said, you are unworthy or you are worthless or whatever they said, or it was just something our little brains made a meaning out of, and we created a belief about ourselves in relation to whatever was going on. And so whatever it is, if we could just say, this really doesn't matter anymore. And you get to a place where you can do that. I know that being a therapist, I know that there are certain people that actually do need to process their feelings, probably with a professional. But then there's other people that can just watch videos like this and be able to feel like, okay, yeah, I'm good. I can take this information and apply it, and then I'll be fine. So everybody's so different. But remember, Bashar says, everything is a permission slip to be more of yourself. So it's like you're giving yourself permission to use therapy, let's say, as a way to become more of yourself. And so if you identify with therapy and you think, man, that could really work for me, then it will work for you. But then there's people that despise therapy. They don't want to do that, but they would rather watch a YouTube video, and they feel like, oh, I can learn from this video. I can use this information, apply it in my life, and everything will be great. And then there's other people that like to be part of a community, and they like to interact with people, and that helps them feel better. So there's just, everybody's so different. There's crystals, and there's acupuncture, and there's chiropractic, and there's all these modalities, these healing modalities, that whatever you resonate with is what you should do, because there's some reason that it resonates with you. So always remember that even YouTube, even watching these videos, something is resonating with you, or you wouldn't be wanting to listen. So just keep getting to know yourself, and then ask yourself, why am I holding on to this story? Because I held on to stories too. I did, and I know I did. And I would have some people be like, why are you doing that? Get rid of this. And I'm like, you don't understand. It's traumatic. And I did go through some traumatic things. I did. And I had to deal with them alone a lot. I mean, alone, like, man, there's nothing more scary than having to deal with some hard emotions by yourself. And I had to do that for many years. And of course I had support and friends and coaches and therapists, and I've had everything and everyone helping me. But at the end of the day, when you're going home alone during day, certain nights, and you're just struggling, yeah, it was hard. And so what did I do? I studied law of attraction, law of assumption. I studied Bashar. I studied Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks, and I just kind of delved into these universal laws. And that's kind of what got me through all those years. I don't know what would have happened if I wouldn't have known this stuff. Oh my gosh. So my point to all this is letting go of our old personal story is what we need to do. And it's, as Joe Dispenza would say, you get over the habit of being yourself. And you have to decide. It's like this decision that you just make. You might need to gently make it or not gently make it. I don't know. Depending on who you are, you might need to rip the Band-Aid off and say, I'm not going to do this anymore. Or just gently say, hey, I can start letting go of pieces of the story. And so in this book, Wayne Dyer's There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem, which is just an amazing book. There's a lady that was holding in, rage at the deception of her ex-husband, who basically cheated on her and went off with his, much younger secretary. And Wayne Dyer said to her that to realize that all those years with her ex-husband, her rage at his deception, all of it was in this amorphous, formless world of her thoughts that constituted a personal history. In reality, she only had now, this present moment, and that is precisely where God is and only can be now. I love that. And then he goes on to say, give up your personal history, which is nothing more than low energy thoughts that you carry around about the way things used to be and why you are upset today because they are no longer that way. Many of your so-called problems are present today because you are either in the wake and blaming it for your difficulties, or because you are caught up in your personal history and refuse to give it up. Know in your heart that everything in your wake and your personal history had to take place in order for you to be where you are today. And what is my evidence for making such a statement? Everything did take place, period, rather than curse it, bless it, and bring love and acceptance to it. And I love that because everything happened. Everything happened. Now, of course, we go into the world as a mirror, so everything is happening based on what we assume. No matter what you believe, practice. See what happens. Try to change the way you see things. Change the way you see yourself first. Practice with yourself. Look in the mirror into your eyes and just kind of see if you notice any shifts, because Bashar says we shift billions of times a second. And so we're not the same person we were a second ago. I'm not the same person I was when I first got on this camera. Isn't that weird to think that? I just have fun thinking these things because it's so much better than looking out into the world and cursing it and, complaining about it. And so I highly encourage you to remember to watch what you're holding on to that you need to let go of. For you to let go of, letting go to create the higher standard. Like maybe, okay, my higher standard means I don't deserve to beat myself up over this old thing that happened. I don't deserve to hurt myself with these thoughts that I know every time I think them, I'm going to be upset. And so that's hurting me because remember, nobody is in your mind or body, so they don't know what you're thinking or feeling. So it's only hurting yourself when you're thinking about these things. And our brain, I think, tries to come up with a solution. So it keeps bringing these things up to try to resolve something. But all it does is like a hamster on a wheel. It just keeps spinning. So remember your higher mind and higher self, inner being, whatever we want to call this, knows what's best. And so if we can just align with that, instead of going back to these old beliefs, these old things that happened even 5 minutes ago, it's just kind of gently pulling yourself, pushing yourself, I don't know, put yourself on a leash and pull yourself over to this new area and say, okay, this is my now. I'm starting fresh right now. I'm going to hold myself to a higher standard. What does that look like? And so I had to decide this too, because I have a lot of stuff with my divorce. I realized that divorce, even though it was 12 years ago, I still bring that up sometimes because it was so painful. It was so painful. But yet, if that didn't happen, I would be a totally different person right now. I mean, I'm sure I'd be a great person still, but there is no way. I've had so many fun things happen since then. I mean, my life was boring compared to what it is today. So it's just amazing what happens when we let go. And I'm one of those, I'll kick and scream, before I let go something, and not anymore. It's like, if it doesn't feel good, then I stop myself and I say, nope, we're not doing that today. We are thinking something different. And so we've got to remember, we've got to get over the habit of being our old self. The complaining and the blaming, everything around you is just a reflection. It's something, if you look at, like, worry is imagining something negative coming into being. Like your brain says, I've got to worry about this, and I've got to fix this, and I've got to think about this thing that I can't stand. And no one tells us that we don't have to think about those things, even though they're valid and they might be going on right now. That is, look at it as old news. Like, that's an old manifestation that has happened. If you will stay true to, how do I want to feel? What higher standard do I want to set for myself? What does that look like? Everybody's so different, so you have to decide what that looks like for you. What is a higher standard? I mean, to me, it's like never complaining. It's being as positive as I can, because why not? Why would I want to be in this low energy when I can be upbeat? If I were in low energy, I wouldn't be able to do my typo every night. I haven't worked out at night literally in years. Like, it's crazy. And I already work out in the morning. So, like, I'm just like the spring chicken, I don't know where it came from. It's just energy that happened. And I just got inspired to do it. So if you will take, and one more thing, like, if you take an action like that, let's say you do typo tomorrow night or tonight or whenever, let's say you decide to do it. You never know what that action could create next, because there might be forces all around you ready for you to take some sort of action to where you be inspired to think a new thought or believe something new, and then have an idea that sparks just from doing something that might be unrelated to what you're actually wanting. So these synchronicities start to happen, opportunities start to show up when you believe in the possibility of anything happening to you. So that's why Bashar says, follow your highest excitement with no expectation of the outcome, because you just do something that feels exciting. So for some reason, these workouts felt exciting. And what they have done is made me feel more empowered. They have made me more flexible. I've noticed in my morning workouts, I'm a little more flexible, which is interesting. And it's bringing back nostalgic feelings of when I was a teenager and in my early 20s, before, all the adult, real adult responsibilities hit. So, and then what is that going to do for me? I don't know. Maybe it'll make me feel younger. I don't know. It's just very interesting. Just follow your highest excitement, which could be just cleaning out a drawer in your house, or it could be having a cup of coffee, or it could be calling a friend, or going for a walk. It could be anything. Shoveling snow, if you got some snow still out there. Ours is melting, which is good. I'm a baby. I do not drive on this stuff, so I have been a shut-in almost a week on Friday, so I'll be getting out on Friday to have lunch with a friend. So, yeah, I mean, you find what looks a little bit fun, maybe, just a little spark inside of you, and see what happens. And we've got to change something. We can't just keep doing the same thing we're always doing, because we're going to get, the same result. So you have to shift over into, what is my standard for myself going to be? How am I going to level up? I'm perfect the way I am, but I want to change and evolve. So how is that, what's that going to look like? And have a lot of fun with it. I just love this stuff. Give up your personal history. They're just low energy thoughts that you carry around about the way things used to be and why you are upset today because they're no longer that way. Like, we got to give up our personal history, right? We have to do that. And I know that there are things that happen. They are traumatic. They mean a lot. And I promise you, I have so many things that have happened to me that I could just be stuck in that and be like, I hate men, and I hate, I don't know. That was the only one that comes to mind. I hate men and I hate family and I hate this and, you know, people are liars and you can't trust people. I mean, you could start saying stuff like that. I mean, I could have gone on and on about that. I could have cried and died in the corner many times, but I always chose to stay strong. The only thing I did not choose was, though, to get over those old stories. And I promise you, when you free yourself from these things, your energy starts to go up, your frequency level starts to go up, and then your external world will start to change because you're changing internally. Remember that the external world, again, is only part of your, it's like a figment of your imagination, if we want to call it that. It's a figment of your imagination. I just keep saying that. I'm like, I'm the only one here and I'm doing all of this. I am that powerful. We think we are not powerful, and the fact that we can create an actual belief that we aren't powerful means we are powerful. That's how crazy it is. Like, we're creating the experience of not feeling powerful by being that powerful to be able to create that in the first place, like that belief. It's insane. And so I don't think we know what powerful even is, but I will say, like, when you start imagining something, you're going to start seeing it. And so start imagining something on purpose to try to practice this. And the other practice, of course, that I love to talk about is saying thank you to everything. I have a client that's been doing that a lot lately. And man, they are changing so much just internally. Just their internal state during the day is changing so much from just saying thank you to everything around them. So I recommend that. If you don't do anything else, do that, because it will help you stay in that feeling of love, appreciation, gratitude, joy, and then you'll start to be pretty baseline staying in that energy. And watch what happens in your life when you start doing that. You deserve to feel good all the time. And just watch what you're thinking and what you're telling yourself about yourself and about other people. Just watch what you're saying to yourself, because you're hearing yourself all the time. So you've got to grab a hold of those words, because words are spells. Everything you're thinking, everything you're saying is a spell. Like, decide that you're going to think differently today or tonight, whatever time it is. So anyway, another Sam ramble for you. I will let you go for this evening. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this and it helped you in some way, please share it with somebody else who might enjoy it and appreciate it and maybe utilize some of the information. And tell anyone that you feel that needs to hear that they are loved. Pass that on to them, because you are so loved. And remember to appreciate yourself, because everything you appreciate appreciates. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.